The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. When there are no ceilings, the sky's the limit. Let's be stronger together, my fellow Americans.
Hello, you are listening to Hillary Planet Podcast. It is July 5th, 2017. I'm your host, Enzo Quesada, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Bobby Hester.
Hey, everyone.
Yesterday was 4th of July. Did you have a good one, Bobby?
I had a really good 4th of July,
man,
Enzo.
it was a great 4th of July, you know? I feel like I say this every day, but, like, you know, we have a woman president, and, like, this is the first 4th of July with a woman president. Like, I've never felt more American than I did yesterday.
I wake up every single morning so happy that Hillary Clinton is my president that it just gives me the sense of joy throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah, better than that racist Donald Trump. Oh, man, that would have been so bad. It would have been like Hitler 2.0.
Thank God he lost.
So good. But let's get into the news this week. We got a lot of stuff to go over. So the first thing that happened this week that we're gonna go into is Cory Booker has been sworn in as Supreme Court Justice. You got the stuff on this, Bobby?
I got it. So, former New Jersey Democratic Senator Cory Booker has been sworn in as the newest Supreme Court Justice, filling the gap created by the death of conservative Justice Antonin Scalia in February of 2016. His appointment gives liberals a 5-4 majority on the court. Booker was confirmed in the Senate on a 52-47 vote, in which Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer invoked the nuclear option to require only a majority vote. Senator Booker's seat is currently being filled by Christopher Perino, who, if you don't know, is New Jersey's Attorney General and has been a longtime critic of Republican New Jersey Governor Chris Christie.
That guy's so fat. Krispy Kreme. But, yeah, Cory Booker, new Supreme Court Justice, that's like a big deal. And he's like a young guy, so we got, the majority for a long time.
It's going to be awesome.
I know. We get to have abortions forever. They're never going to take that away from us. It's a woman's right to choose.
You know what's even better than that? Is that we finally have another person of color on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, more diversity. Who's the other lady that's also diverse?
Elena Sotomayor.
Sotomayor, yeah. Dude, we're getting so much diversity on the Supreme Court. It's really, like, reflective of where this country is going.
I don't think the Supreme Court has ever been this diverse in our country's history.
No. I mean, it's just the way things are. It's the way things gotta be, It's all about diversity. And, like, it makes us stronger because, like, it's more reflective of, like, everyone, not just white people. Ugh, gross.
Anyways, want to move on to the next story then?
Yeah, since it's related. So, Ruth Bader Ginsburg has announced retirement from the Supreme Court. Now, she's really old. You got the specifics on this, Bobby?
I got the specifics. So, longtime liberal Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has announced her intention to retire from the Supreme Court in August. Ginsburg, who, as you said, is very old. She's 84 years old. She has been on the Supreme Court since August of 1993. That was before either of us were even born.
Yeah.
And but she's retiring in August of 2017, which will be the 24th anniversary of when she first went on there. Now, by retiring, this gives President Clinton the opportunity to possibly replace her with a younger progressive justice. And Ginsburg said, "I'm honored to have served," is what she said at her announcement early Thursday morning. "We've made a lot of progress during my term, and I'm confident we will make a lot more progress in the future once I'm gone." Now, she then returned home after the press conference because she felt tired.
Yeah, I understand. Old people get tired. Hillary got tired a lot during the campaign. Luckily, she had enough energy, though, to win. But Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she's almost as old as Bernie Sanders.
Almost.
Like, yeah, she better take a break. Otherwise, she's going to die. But, I mean, it's good that, like, if Trump would have won, Ruth Bader Ginsburg would die, and then he'd get to fill it with two people. Okay? Then he'd reintroduce racism and stuff, and, like, apartheid. So, with Hillary, and we could fill that with anybody, I don't know who I'd want to fill her seat, though.
And just like what the article said, we can fill it with someone even younger, just like Cory Booker. He's young. We could fill it with another young person. We could have 2 people on there for the next 40 years.
Who's like a good young Democrat we could fill it with? I don't really know. Who's that? Linda Saucer?
Linda Sarsour?
Yeah, she would be a good one.
She would be a great
She's
Supreme
also
Court
young,
justice.
also diverse, and also Muslim.
I don't think we've ever had a Muslim on the Supreme Court before.
No, I don't even think we've had a Muslim in the government, other than Barack Obama. But, you know, she would be a perfect pick. She knows about Sharia law, and, like, that's the future.
Yeah. We should let President Clinton know and suggest that to her. That way she knows.
Hopefully she listens to the podcast. I doubt it, because we're just minuscule fans of a very popular woman. But maybe we could send an email or a letter. Well, maybe not email, but definitely a letter.
Handwritten letter. That way it's nicer.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. I think she'll like that idea. So let's get into some of the executive orders that Hillary's done this week, because she's got some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one that she signed this week is an executive order removing all Confederate monuments.
So President Clinton signed an executive order on Tuesday, calling for the immediate removal of all Confederate monuments in the country. Now, this comes just weeks after the Robert E. Lee statue was removed from Lee Circle in New Orleans, Louisiana. Clinton, after signing the order in the Oval Office, said, "America's past is a history of racism and bigotry. Those who are traitors to the Union should not be celebrated. This correction of history will once again put the country on the path to equality of all people." Now, some critics of the order have complained that it is overreaching in including battlefield monuments as well. Representatives of the Gettysburg Memorial Foundation have released a public statement about removing their on-site memorials on the battlefield, but Clinton fired back, ensuring them that it is for the better of mankind and history should forget the losing sides.
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty happy this is happening because I'm not a big fan of racism. I'm definitely not a racist person. And, like, the Confederates were racist. They had slaves. That's why we fought the Civil War.
And, like, we have so many racist people today that think it's okay to fly the Confederate flag. Like, no. You know, people died to try to defeat that. Like, those people were traitors, you know?
You know who also had a Confederate flag? Dylan Roof. Okay?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Dylan Roof, never forget.
He was, like, the most racist guy out there. He killed 9 people of color in the church.
Yeah, that's really messed up. And, like, you know, like, we don't need these statues. We could just make new ones. Like Robert E. Lee, he probably owned slaves. You know, we could just change it to, like Chuck E. Schumer. Like, Chuck E. Schumer Park would be awesome. I would go there all the time.
I would take my children there once I have children.
I know. Chuck Schumer's my favorite Democrat. Too bad he won't run for president. Good thing Hillary's president, though. I'm a big fan of Hillary Clinton as well.
Oh, me too. Very much.
They both hate racism, which is why I love them so much. But, like, I don't even think that we should stop with just these monuments. Like, our history is full of racists.
Even some of our presidents were racist. Like George Washington.
He had slaves.
Thomas Jefferson.
He had slaves.
I think Thomas Jefferson raped his slave, too.
That's
what they say.
I think Ben Franklin had slaves as well. They're called, like, Amish or something.
Ben Franklin's even on the $100 bill. Like, if he owns slaves, we should take him off the $100 bill.
Yeah, why are there racists on our money? Why can't we replace him with, like, Sacagawea or, like, Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Like, I don't know. Because she's old and she deserves it. You know, that'd be a good thing. Well, we should put that in the letter as well.
We should put Martin Luther King Jr. on the $1 bill.
He is a pretty good guy. He stopped the racism.
I can't think of anyone more qualified than him. And if you put it on the $1 bill, that's the most common one. So everyone's going to be using it.
Yeah, George Washington's on that right now. And, like, what did he ever do that stopped racism? Nothing.
I mean, he, like, killed all the natives, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's not good for
wars.
Equality.
Yeah.
The function of government is equality and stopping racism. And, like, you know, it was bad until, you know, Obama was president, but, like, we're finally getting on track. And, like, Hillary's going to get us on the right track. Like, she's got the perfect cabinet. And, like, if it wasn't for those racist Republicans right now, like, we'd be doing everything right. But let's go into the next executive order that she wrote this week. So there's a new executive order that bans the construction of new oil pipelines. You got the stuff on that, Bobby?
Oh, I got the stuff on this. President Clinton signed an executive order banning the construction of any new oil pipelines from being built on U.S. soil. The risk we face from oil spills outweighs the positives of cheaper oil, Clinton said. This order will protect our environment, which is the most important thing humanity can do. Now, the order signals a victory for activists who protested the building of the Keystone XL pipeline and the Dakota Access Pipeline over the last several months. This is a win for our Native Americans who have suffered so much in this country's past, said the new director of Native American Affairs, Elizabeth Warren. And in unrelated news, for some reason, oil futures were up 9% this evening.
See, don't worry about that. Like, things gotta go, like, bad before they go good. Like think about racism. Like, things are really bad. Like, we almost had Trump, but now we have Clinton. So, like, you know, you always have to have the bad with the good. But, like, it's great that we're getting rid of these oil pipelines. One, it was racist because it was going through the Native Americans' place. But
yeah.
Two, it's bad for the environment. Like, why aren't we using solar power or, like, wind power? Why do we need to use oil? It's dumb.
Not only that, but you have to, like, dig up the land, too, before you put the pipeline. And then when the pipeline spills, not if it spills, but when it spills,
yeah,
that's going to, like, pollute the water supply and kill all the fish and kill all the birds. And if anyone drinks it, it's going to kill the people, too.
They already use trains to move that stuff. What's wrong with continuing to use trains? I mean, pipelines are just inefficient. They don't make sense, okay?
So I'm very happy that we're not building any new ones. I would like to see us get rid of the old ones.
We should get rid of some of the older ones, but we
I
have to dig them up too, though.
I was going to say, I understand we take baby steps here.
Yeah.
Get one thing done at a time. This is a good first step.
Yeah, Hillary can't do everything at right now, but, like, Hill Dog is still doing a lot, so.
I'm very, very supportive of this measure.
Yeah. Let's go into the next thing that we got. So, the 2018 budget has been passed into law, and we got some good developments with that because there's been increased funding for Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, so the fiscal year 2018 budget signed into law by President Clinton includes increased funding for Planned Parenthood. The company, which provides abortions and medical care services, has stated that none of the increased funds will go towards performing abortions, despite critics on the right who claim the fungibility of money will make that impossible. The federal funding for Planned Parenthood is set to be increased to $1.2 billion next year, which is a 40% increase from 2017. This is a great step for women, said Chelsea Clinton, who, as you know, is our new National Director of Female Empowerment. With increased funding, we will be able to provide many more much-needed abortions to women in need.
This is pretty good news because, like, it supports a woman's right to choose, and, like, there's not enough equality for women. Like, we've been discriminating against them, like, all of history. So it's like not his story anymore. It's like her story now, and, like, you know, the Republicans, they're so racist about this because they don't realize, like, women of color use Planned Parenthood the most. So, like, not funding Planned Parenthood is pretty racist. Like, it's disadvantaging, women of color, which is, like, the most important people in this country.
Yeah, like, if you think about it, if you really, really think about it, like, a lot of the people who go in to get the abortions, like, if they were forced to have those kids, they can't afford those kids.
Yeah.
Like, they don't make very much money, which we're going to get to later.
They should be,
but even so, like, they don't have enough money to pay for it. Why should we be forcing them to have children? And as you said, a majority of them are people of color.
Yeah.
So, like, if you think about it, that's like, that would be white people, being racist and sexist against women and their right to choose.
Yeah, women of color are our future, and we'd just be, like, disadvantaging them if we made them have to have the kids. Like, that's kind of mean, and that's, like, pretty inequality, so I'm not really down with that. This is really good that we're using money on Planned Parenthood because, like, you gotta invest in the future, and, like, there's a future we want to prevent these children because, like, they're an accident, so I'm pretty pleased.
Yeah, and people should not be punished for having accidents.
No.
It's not their fault they got pregnant.
I make accidents all the time. Like, sometimes, like, I trip and fall. And, like, sometimes, like, I leave the toilet seat up. And, like, sometimes people just get pregnant. And, like, it happens. Like,
Yeah.
I get it.
There's no need to punish people by, like, forcing them to raise a child.
Yeah,
for,
that's
a long
stupid. Time. But, yeah, let's go to the next thing that we got here, though. So, some Republican senators have seen the light, and they've switched to the Democratic Party. You got the stuff on this, Bobby?
I got the stuff on this, Enzo. So, Republican Senators John McCain of Arizona and Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, longtime critics of the Republican Party base, have announced they will be revoking their Republican Party membership and will be switching to the Democratic Party. This switch will give the Democrats a 53-47 majority in the Senate, up from a 51-49 lead earned after the 2016 general elections. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican, stated his disappointment in losing two key party members, but reinforced his belief that in a free country, people should be able to always voice their opinions, a right guaranteed by the First Amendment under freedom of speech and freedom of association. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who we both love, he's great, was pleased with the decision and intends to work with Senators McCain and Graham in the future. Senator McCain said his nomination as the 2008 Republican presidential nominee played no part in his decision to abandon the Republican Party.
So that's pretty cool. Like, even though they're old white guys, like, at least they're on our side now. Like, before they were being bad white guys, but, like, now they can, like, pass some laws, and then when they can get out of the way. They can get out of the way, because, like, they understand that, like, as a white man, your job is to listen. And they're going to listen, and they're going to vote the way Chuck Schumer tells them.
I mean, they pretty much did in the past anyways, but this way it's like, official.
At least, yeah, it's official now.
Yeah.
Like, there's no gray area around it. Like, John McCain, when he ran in 2008 against Barack Obama, like, that's pretty much the worst thing anyone could do. But, like, he's changed. And, like, everyone makes accidents, like we said. So, like, I don't know. I think maybe, like, John McCain, like, changed his mind when, like, Donald Trump was mean to him.
Yeah.
Because, like, Donald Trump's mean. And, like, that would change the way... I wouldn't want to be in the same party as him. That would be messed up.
I think we actually should... We should be praising John McCain. Because if you think about it, his unpopularity... plus Obama's popularity is part of the reason why Obama won in 2008. So if John McCain had been popular, like, it could have been even closer. So the fact that, like, he sucked so much back then is really, really good. Because now he's on our side and he doesn't suck anymore. Like, he's come full circle.
Whoa. Happy. That's, like, a really open-minded, like, viewpoint I
Yeah.
couldn't even comprehend until you put it in the way. And now it makes, like, perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like, what if John McCain was always a Democrat the whole time and he just threw the election for Obama?
Like, we should build monuments of him now. That's what we should do.
Well, he's an old white guy, so
That's
maybe
true.
not him.
Maybe a plaque.
He could definitely have a plaque.
We could have a plaque.
Definitely
That's
a
a
plaque.
good compromise, Enzo. That's a good compromise.
Yeah. We gotta make compromises everywhere. But let's go into the next thing we got before we go into the economy.
Yeah, this is some sad news here.
This is some pretty sad news. So, the free college bill has been stalled in the House after passing in the Senate.
Yeah, so the much-needed free college bill that would provide free tuition for all students at public universities is facing resistance in the Republican-controlled House. In the Senate, the bill passed in party lines, 53-47. Thank you, Senators McCain and Graham. But House Speaker Paul Ryan has said the bill will, quote, unfairly raise taxes and decrease the meaning of a college degree. But the bill intends to pay for college by raising the top marginal tax rate to 80% of all income earned above $1 million. Now, Senator Bernie Sanders, the writer of the bill, has said that having free college is necessary for students to be able to receive the degrees they deserve without graduating with thousands of dollars of debt. President Clinton has expressed her desire to sign the bill into law upon its passing.
This is so frustrating. Like, we want to do something good for this country, and, like, the Republicans get in the way again. Like, why can't they just give us this? Like, like, this would be so helpful. I wouldn't have to worry about any college debt. Okay? I could just get my degree and then go.
Paul Ryan is he's such an idiot. Like, if you think about it, Republicans are always like, oh, you got to think of the children and stuff like that. But, like, we are thinking of the children.
Yeah, we want to give them college.
We want to make sure that they get educated. Like, do Republicans hate education?
They just want to read the Bible. Just read the Bible.
Like, do they want the children to be stupid? Like, we want them to be smart. We want them to be educated. Like, you can't do that if you're going to, like, force them to have thousands and thousands of dollars in debt.
All he cares about is the rich people, okay?
Yeah.
Like, the rich people don't want us getting college because then we could become the rich people.
Yeah.
And, like, the rich people are mainly, like, old white Republicans, so, like, it only makes sense that they'd keep it away from us. Like, education's, like, a human right.
Yeah.
Like, you're entitled to this. Like, I want to learn, and, like, I should get it, Like, it's mean to not give it to me.
Like, when I was first deciding whether or not I wanted to go to college, I wanted to decide what degree I wanted to get. Like, I had so many options, And so I wanted to get something that I would enjoy doing, because if I was going to go to college for 4 years and take classes that I hated or that didn't make sense, I wouldn't do it. So, I mean, that's part of the reason why I decided to get a degree in, like, women's history, because women's history is history.
Yeah.
And it's so ignored.
It's the future of history.
And so, like, I'll be able to not only take what I've learned and apply it in the future, but if I can do that without having any debt at all, that would be amazing.
That would be like an extra boost.
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't have to worry about stuff, and like that would be pretty. Like you'd have like the heads up. Like,
Yeah.
You'd be extra ready to go.
Oh yeah.
See, like I go to school, to be a journalist, and maybe I don't want to be a journalist next year, but maybe it's an accident. We all make accidents, and if it's free, I could just switch.
Yeah.
And hey, my accident, the government gets it. It's an accident, Maybe I want to work for CNN. Maybe I don't want to. Maybe I want to go work for Hillary Clinton. I don't know. I'm just a kid in college. Why do they make us make these big decisions now?
And
I'm not ready for this.
I had so many friends in high school who couldn't afford college at the time.
Yeah.
If they were able to go, they would be here with me, and we could hang out all the time and stuff.
Yeah.
It would be a huge boost to my morale.
Yeah. And people of color don't get to go to college as much as people that are white. So at least let them have it, because us having college is privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of messed up.
And we're gonna get to our privilege check later on.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some news about privilege, but I'm so mad. Why can't we just have free college? It makes a lot of sense.
And that's why my favorite part of the bill is the fact that it raises that top marginal tax rate to 80% of all income above $1 million. So the rich will finally pay their fair share.
Yeah.
And we will benefit from it.
The rich can shove it.
Yeah.
Shove it up their ass. Ugh, hate them. Republicans. Okay, let's go on to some of this economy stuff. So, this is another big win for equality and women, and that is the gender pay gap has been fixed.
Yep. So the gender pay gap, which has been a long-time talking point used by us liberals as evidence of male privilege in the workforce, will finally be a thing of the past. Previously, women would only earn 77 cents for every $1 earned by men. But this bill will immediately increase the pay of all women by 23% for it to match. And also, future female employees will also receive a 1.23 times multiplier for their pay, as well as preferential treatment in hiring and promotions. President Clinton expressed her pleasure, saying, "Women have been underpaid in our patriarchal system for too long. True equality begins only when we can recognize our bias and fix the problems women have faced while being unfairly oppressed." That statement hits me right here.
Hill Dog's done it again. Hill Dog's done it again. Coming in with that equality. Hell yeah. women's rights are human rights, and they deserve to get paid as much as a man does.
Like, women and men will now earn the same amount of money.
Totally. Like we know a lot about patriarchy because we took a class in college about it. You more than I, but like it's pretty messed up. Like, men have always been in charge of like society, and like we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. We're just chasing after our dicks. Like it's so stupid. Like if women have the money to do stuff, like, they're going to make way better choices than us.
I mean, it's all about a women's right to choose. So now they have the money to choose, just like you said.
Yeah. And, like, if we're not burdening them with, like, paying for abortions or paying for college, like, they can do anything.
Yeah.
Like the glass ceiling is just like, psh, like, we broke it, you know?
We already broke it when Clinton won the election.
That is true. But we got to break the glass ceiling for every woman in the world.
Yes, we do.
Every one of them. I get so worked up about, like, fighting inequality, and, like, Hill Dog does it again. Like, this presidency is going, like, amazing right now.
Yeah, like, this was one of the biggest reasons why I became, like, a male feminist.
Yeah.
Because of the gender pay gap. So the fact that it's gone, like, I feel so justified in all the time and effort that I've put in to fighting for it.
See, like I had a lot of friends that like Bernie and like Feel the Burn, but like he was never going to be as good on women stuff as Hillary, which is why I always supported Hillary. Like Bernie's pretty cool too, you know. If he was the nominee, I would have voted for him, other than like, Trump, who would vote for him. But like, we don't even have to worry about this stuff. Like, our minds can't even comprehend what's happening to women. So you need a woman to, like, know. Like, I'm, like, blabbering on about this stuff, but I really don't know. Because I'm not a woman, and you're not a woman.
And it wouldn't be even fair for us to, like, guess.
Yes.
As to what's happening to women.
That would be, like, an advancement of privilege. And that would be pretty messed up. And we're not that kind of guy, because we're male feminists. Mm-hmm. And, like, we respect women. I respect the hell out of women, especially Hillary Clinton. Let's go on to the next thing, though.
All right.
So, anti-coal measures have been put in place.
So, during her campaign, President Clinton promised to put the coal industry out of business. And it appears that she has made true on that promise by passing measures to place heavy regulations on the coal industry. These measures would ban any new mining for coal and place a limit on current coal mines by limiting output by 90%. The states of Kentucky, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania have led the charge against these measures, though, promising to fight them in federal court. Now, alongside this news, Peabody Coal, which is the nation's largest coal mining company, has filed for bankruptcy and has announced that they will be laying off all of their 25,000 employees in the Midwest.
You know what Kentucky, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania all have in common?
What's that?
They voted for Donald Trump.
I can't believe we lost Pennsylvania.
I know that I'm confused. I guess there's too many white people there. Like, why do you care about coal? Like, it's stupid. It's just in the ground. Like, why don't you use solar?
Like, I can't believe we lost Ohio either. But like, thank God we won not West Virginia.
Wisconsin.
We won Wisconsin, and
Florida.
we won Florida, and we won Michigan, and we won North Carolina, which really surprised me with that one.
Hell yeah.
So, like,
It was closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to get Pennsylvania and Ohio, because Barack Obama got both of them.
Yeah. Like, we should, like, I know that they talked about, like, voter fraud, but,
I don't think that's a thing.
They say it's not a thing,
It's
but, like,
not.
how else would we lose Pennsylvania if, like, Republicans didn't cheat us?
I don't know. I've never been to Pennsylvania, but there's probably a lot of racists there. And, like they have 2 football teams. Okay, that's, like, a lot of toxic masculinity.
You know who else does? Texas does.
I know.
Like,
and Texas went to Donald Trump.
Yeah, like seriously. Those 2 things, that can't be a coincidence. It really can't.
No, I don't really know statistics on how this stuff works, but like I know like New Hampshire doesn't have a football team, and that went to Hillary. And like, does Connecticut have a football team? No, that went to Hillary. I think there's a correlation with sports and voting for stupid people.
Well, Connecticut, though, their women's basketball team, like, won every single game, though.
Well, that's pretty
So,
cool. That's
like,
probably why they voted for Hillary.
I was going to say, it had to be because of that. It's not a male sport. It's a female sport, and that's why they went to Hillary.
That does make sense. But back to this coal stuff.
Yeah.
Like, these people, like, they're taking this to court. Like, what are they complaining about? Like, this is just progress. Like, this is going to be inevitable, okay?
Yeah, and you know what? Like, every single time they build a coal mine, they have to chop down all the trees.
Yeah.
And they have to, like, dig it out and just keep digging and digging and digging. And it's dirty and it's loud. And, like, all the animals die because they have to, like, leave.
Yeah.
And, like, not only that, but when they're done, they just leave it there. And it's a big hole in the ground.
Yeah, what are we going to do with this hole? All you're doing is causing global holing. Like, it's so stupid. Like, I don't want to trip. And it's also causing global warming because, like, coal uses a lot of, like, fossil fuels.
Yeah.
So, like, that stuff goes into the atmosphere, and that makes the temperature hotter or warmer depending on how the mood swings of the climate's going.
Yeah, and you know, like you said earlier, we should be using solar power more. And we should be using wind power.
Yeah.
It's like coal, it's a thing of the past. We
Yeah.
don't need it anymore.
I don't. Why do people even live in West Virginia? What's in West Virginia?
It's like trees and mountains, and that's it.
Was it a part of, like, the Confederacy?
No, West Virginia broke off to be part of the Union, while Virginia just decided to join the Confederacy.
Then what's their problem? Why are they voting for racists?
Yeah.
Like, they should know better. They don't have any excuse.
I mean, like, we won Virginia but lost West Virginia. But, like, if the tables were turned and it was back to the Civil War, like, we would have won West Virginia but lost Virginia. So, at least, like, Virginia has more electoral votes than West Virginia.
Yeah.
So, in that regard, like, it's still good for us.
Well, Virginia has a lot more diversity than West Virginia.
Yeah, it's
so,
true.
like, they're just, like, weak-minded people, and that's why they want to play with their coal. Like, it's so high. Really pissed me off. Let's go on to the next thing, though. So, there's been some new carbon tax and oil drilling restrictions put in place. Can you give us the information on that?
Yeah, sure. So, Congress has passed a new carbon tax, which is was long time pushed for by environmental groups. The tax would increase the current federal tax on gasoline and diesel fuel to $2.25 a gallon. Keep in mind, currently, it's only like 75 cents. So, the bill was part of a set of laws passed this week. It's a small price for us to all pay to protect our environment, Vice President Tim Kaine said. CO2 emissions have caused global warming to go out of control, and I'm glad we are able to finally put a stop to it once and for all. And also, new measures were put in place to limit oil drilling were also announced. So, no new oil drilling may occur in the Gulf of Mexico, and no new oil drilling sites may be created on U.S. soil. Current oil drilling platforms have 180 days to cease production. The energy sector, which, as we all know, has dropped in market value by 55% since the election, continued its decline based on this news, going down another 18% last week alone. But, like, that's not a bad thing. You know why?
That's progress.
It's like these Wall Street bankers, like, all they do is make money off of, like, poor people.
Yeah, and they invest in stuff that destroys the planet.
Yeah, so, like, it going down is proof that, like, progress is working.
And things
you know?
have to go down before they go up, okay? That's how it always works. It's always darkest before the dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, why do we even need oil drilling? Like you said, like, why don't we use solar power or, you know, wind or, like, biofuel or, like, biofuel. What are some other ones?
Did you mention solar?
Yes, I did.
Solar's my favorite.
Solar is
Solar
pretty
and wind
cool.
are my two favorite.
Those are pretty good ones.
Yeah.
I really don't like coal and oil, which is why it's good that we have this carbon tax, because, like, coal's made out of carbon.
Yeah, and if you think about just think of the economics of this, all right?
Yeah.
Because gasoline's going up by $2.25 a gallon, like, it's more expensive, and so people won't buy it as much, which means less gas will be needed. So the oil companies, even though like they can't drill anymore, like not only will they not have any more oil coming in, but they won't have any money coming in either. So like they'll go out of business, and like
We could just ride bikes.
yeah,
Or take the bus.
yeah.
Like, we don't need to do this stuff. Like, it's stupid.
Like you won't need gasoline if you ride the bus or use a bike.
Okay, I ride my bike to college, okay? Why can't everyone just do that?
Yeah, or like if you're too poor and you can't afford a bike, well you could walk.
Yeah.
Like everyone, well, not everyone has legs, which is unfortunate.
It's
but
pretty, yeah.
mo-
We can't
most-
assume that's pretty ableist.
I know that was ableist. I apologize, but I should say most people do have legs. That's
Yes,
true.
Most people do. And here's like another thing, since we're talking about the economics of it, like if the price is going up, who benefits from that? Okay? Who owns the gas stations?
Rich people.
No, Pakistanis.
Oh, that's
and
true.
Indians. So it means like more people of color are getting money.
Yeah.
Like white people don't own those things. So like it's just kind of like the market's giving like more equality through our regulations. And like yeah, it's going to go down, but like it's going to go up before it goes down. They can take those dollars and put in like solar power.
Yeah.
Or like wind, you know? That's where the market is going.
And not far from where I live, like there's a gas station. And I've actually made really, really good friends with the guy who works there. His name's Habib.
Yeah.
And like, if he knew that he would all of a sudden have so much more money coming in, he would be so happy.
He would.
Like,
He wouldn't have to work so much.
yeah, he could retire early and like live a decent life without having to just like live for slave wages the rest of his life.
Yeah. Like, it's pretty messed up that, like, we even have to work or, like, starve. Like, what kind of options are those? Like, that's like
What kind of a life is that?
that's like fascism.
Yeah.
That's messed up. But, like, let's go on to the next thing. Some pretty good news from the economy.
So this is kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the energy sector. So continuing their rapid decline since November 8th, markets in free fall do not appear to rise anytime soon. The Dow Jones Industrial Average recently eclipsed the 10,000 point mark during its decline from 19,100 points the week before the election. The last time the Dow Jones was below 10,000 was on June 1st, 2010. Overall, the S&P 500 has dropped 35% since the election and 29% since President Clinton's inauguration alone. Now, much of this drop has been attributed to President Clinton's vast use of new regulations placed on businesses in all sectors. The Federal Reserve has even discussed negative interest rates to help ease that problem. I don't see a problem, though. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah, it's just rich people. Like, the stock market is just a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Like, they invented that in, like, the 20s or something. That's what caused the Great Depression. You know, the stock market's down 35% since the election. Okay, things have to go down before they go up. Mm-hmm. And, like, you know, once the rich people lose all their money, we can just give it to, like, you know, the good people. Like women of color that, like, need it more than, like, the old rich white guys do that vote Republican.
Now, I know this thing, like, you know, it talks about how, like, the Federal Reserve is discussing
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
what does
is
that
the
even
Federal
mean?
Reserve?
What is that?
Like, I don't know why this article, it's from The Hill. I don't know why it, like, needs to tell us that.
Yeah.
Like, your average person doesn't know what that means. Like, that's just unnecessary information overload.
What is a Federal Reserve? Like, is that like FedEx?
I don't know.
Is FedEx on the stock market?
Yeah?
Maybe it's FedEx.
It probably is FedEx. I bet you they just spelled it wrong. That's probably what.
I don't really get it. But I don't think we really need to. Like, the numbers are good. Like, they show us what we want to see, okay? Stuff has to go down before it goes up. You know, you look at, you know those, like, graphs that go up and down?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Like, everything has a curve to it.
It's like a roller coaster, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you think about a roller coaster. When you're going up and up and up, it's slow and, like, you're not really moving very fast.
You're not having fun.
But the fun part's when it drops and, like, the wind's in your hair and you got your arms up and, like, you know, it bottoms out and then there's usually a curve that you go around. Like, that's when everyone screams. That's what everyone looks forward to is the drops. They don't care about going up. They care about coming down. Like, that's where all the fun is.
Yeah, that just makes a lot of sense.
And you know, like, when they take your picture on the ride, Like, they don't do it when you're going up.
No.
They do it, like, right at the bottom.
That's because that's
Yeah.
when you're having the most fun.
Yeah.
And, like, the economy works the same way.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't it? So let's go into the next thing. This is the last thing that we have for the economy, actually.
Yeah.
So the budget deficit is set to hit $1.7 trillion for 2018.
Yeah. So the federal government's budget deficit is set to more than double from $850 billion in 2017 to $1.7 trillion in 2018. Much of this is due to President Clinton's push for more government spending, including free college tuition at public universities, which we talked about, more funding for Planned Parenthood, which we talked about, and more funding for refugee resettlement services and other welfare programs, which
we're going to get into.
We're going to get into. Yeah, you're right. Republicans have stated that they believe the increases in the federal debt will reach a limit one day and will collapse the system. Now, Clinton has fired back in response, saying the Federal Reserve. Well, there's that thing.
There's
again.
that thing
Like,
again. What does
the hell
that
is
even mean?
Like,
well, at least Hillary knows what it means.
she
'cause
knows
we
what
don't.
it means.
Yeah,
and
she
if
knows best.
She knows what she's doing. She says the Federal Reserve can always print more money for the U.S. government to use. So this notion that debt will make our country bankrupt is a fallacy.
That's some pretty solid logic.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton knows what a fallacy is.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a thing that like I was supposed to learn, but like that doesn't apply to journalism.
Well, like
so.
I was reading an article in the Huffington Post earlier today, and they were talking about Donald Trump, and they said he used fallacies a lot, and Clinton didn't. So like, you're right. You know,
Fallacies must be things that Republicans do.
I think it is a Republican thing because they're talking fallacies back then, and they're talking fallacies now. So, yeah, I just thought about it. What letter does fallacy start with?
F.
What letter does fascism start with?
F.
And what are Republicans?
Fascist.
There you go. It's a connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all this bunch of fascists. But like I think using context clues from that sentence that you read from the quote from Hillary says like the Federal Reserve can always print more money. Like maybe that's where money comes from.
I think you're right.
Maybe it doesn't even come from the economy. Maybe it's the Federal Reserve. Like, we don't even need the economy. We could just use the Federal Reserve.
And if she says we can always print more money for the U.S. government to use, then, like, what's the point in even, like, having taxes, you know?
Yeah, that's the purpose. Well, so we can tax the rich. But,
That's true.
we don't need to pay taxes.
No.
We could just print more money.
Like, if that's all you need to do to pay for stuff is print the money, then, like, print the money, you know?
That's what the government's supposed to do anyways.
Yeah.
So...
Like, government is there to provide for us, right?
Yes.
And if that costs money to do it, then they can just print the money to do it.
The purpose of government is to promote equality.
Yeah.
And like that's why we just did this thing with the gender pay thing, but like we need to go farther. Like we need to have like a progressive like money printing scheme.
Yeah.
So like people that are really oppressed, they get the most money cuz they need it more cuz like we didn't even give the slaves reparations. That's pretty messed up. Like I think about that all the time.
Like that was honestly like that was my biggest disappointment with Barack Obama's presidency is like we didn't pass reparations for African Americans. Like I thought that was going to happen,
I
but
really
it didn't,
did too.
and so I was kind of depressed. But then Clinton won, and
maybe she's going to do it.
We got 8 more years. So
8
like,
years of Hillary, yeah.
There's a long time for that to happen, so I'm not giving up on her yet.
I mean, Hillary likes Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So like she'll do what they want. And like black people know best. Like
African Americans.
oh yeah, I'm sorry, I made a microaggression. But African Americans, like they know best. Like why else would they be big TV stars? Okay, like all of the good dance like videos. It's all like African Americans.
Like, sports players are African Americans.
Yeah, it's because like they know best. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to play football. It looks hard. It looks like it'd be really difficult. And like African Americans, it's like natural. It's like easy. Mm-hmm. Dancing. Like I'm just a white guy. I don't understand how to do it. But African Americans know how to do it. So like we've been messing up because like we've been like giving the money to like white people, but like African Americans know what to do more with the money. And
like you said, they do all these great things, but they don't have the money right now. Think how much better things they could do if they had the money.
Yeah. Like, so I don't want to talk bad about Barack Obama, but like, I feel like he let us down a little bit because, like, he didn't pass reparations. Like,
He didn't pass free college.
he didn't put George Zimmerman in jail. It's like messed up.
Yeah.
And like, I appreciate what Barack Obama did because, like, he was way better than all the white people. But like, I don't know. Maybe it was hard because, like, all the racists were, like, trying to stop him. And, like, Republicans, like, they had the House and then the Senate. And, like, we got that stuff back now.
Yeah. Well, we got the Senate.
Well,
We're going to take back the House in 2018. Like,
yes.
We're going to.
Yes.
So we only got, like, another year and a half of the stupid stuff going on, and then we'll be set.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to do whatever we want after that.
And maybe Paul Ryan will become a Democrat, too, because, like, he's halfway there.
Yeah. We should work on that. Maybe he will follow the lead of McCain and Graham.
I mean, he didn't like Donald Trump either, which, I don't blame him. Like, most people don't like Donald Trump.
I hate Donald Trump.
He's so mean.
So racist and, like, sexist.
Stupid.
He, like, wants to grab women's pussies. Like, ugh.
Consent, dude. So,
Yeah. It's like rape,
so gross.
But
what are we even talking about?
We were talking about the budget deficit.
I don't know what that means. So, like, let's just move on.
Yeah. So here's some good news, though.
This is really good news. So, President Clinton has endorsed Michelle Obama in her 2018 Illinois U.S. Senate race.
Yeah, so on Monday, former First Lady Michelle Obama announced her candidacy for the U.S. Senate in the Democratic primary in Illinois. She kicked off her campaign by giving a speech in front of some 3,000 supporters at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Chicago. President Clinton was quick to announce her endorsement of Mrs. Obama, saying she's a role model for women everywhere and can empower our African American community to reach unbelievable heights. Now, former Republican nominee and loser of the 2016 presidential election, Donald Trump, said on Twitter, Michelle Obama kicks off Senate campaign at Hyatt in Chicago. My hotel across the river is much taller, says all you need to know about her. Like, how rude a statement is that, Enzo?
Yeah. Who even cares what he has to say anymore? He's not doing politics. Like, I get it. You have a hotel. Like, big deal. Like,
okay, fine. Your hotel is really tall. I bet you're compensating for something anyways.
yeah, small hands.
Yeah.
That joke still gets me.
I love it. That was the best part.
Stupid Trump.
Yeah. But,
Michelle Obama's pretty cool, though.
I mean, Illinois is a super Democrat state, so, like, she's gonna win.
Yeah. That's where Barack Obama comes from.
That's why she's there, because she lives in Chicago with Barack Obama.
Really?
Yeah, he's opening his new presidential library there in Chicago.
Oh, man, I thought he lived in Washington. Oh, yeah,
remember they
Hillary
moved.
lives in the White House now.
Yeah.
Why can't Obama live there as well, though?
I mean, there is a way, if you think about it. If she replaces Tim Kaine as VP in 2020 with Michelle Obama.
Whoa.
Like, think about it. This is just for, like, her to get some political experience for a couple of years before Clinton picks her as her VP.
And then Malia can become senator.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like, Tim Kaine, he's just like a white male anyways.
Yeah, he
Granted,
is.
he's a Democrat, and I like him because
Yeah.
of that, but he's a white male. So, like...
So he needs to understand his place.
Exactly. So this is just a way to get Michelle Obama some more experience for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then she'll be boom ready for 2020. And then she'll be VP and like they'll be back in DC and like back in the White House and stuff.
Man, our Senate's going to be like so much cooler with Michelle Obama. Have you seen those videos with Michelle Obama where she's like doing the dancing and like the rapping and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool.
Like if you think about it, like you remember when she was first lady and she had that like nutritional food program?
Yeah.
Like beforehand, our children's foods in schools were not nutritional, but like now they are because of her.
Yeah.
So she already made a lot of difference, and she wasn't even like in an elected position.
And like I accept people at like all sizes, but you know, if people want to choose to be a smaller size, like Michelle Obama helped with that, especially if like you're a kid.
Yeah.
And like that's pretty huge, like that she made them smaller.
Well, she made them healthy because you can still be big.
Well, healthy at all sizes.
Yes, healthiness at all sizes.
But they made the choice to be smaller, which is okay, as long as you acknowledge that you have thin privilege, which, I mean, intersectionality is complicated. I always get tripped up. I don't know.
I think we should take a trip to Illinois to, like, campaign for her. Like, we could meet her,
Oh, God, that'd be cool.
Think how good this podcast would be if we had, like, a selfie with Michelle Obama.
We should get Michelle Obama. Well, she won't want to come on the podcast. We're some white males.
Yeah.
But like we could go to Chicago and we could take a photo of us, like, giving the middle finger to, like, Trump's hotel.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
If we were, like, wearing Michelle Obama t-shirts, like, at the same time, like, that would send the message, too.
Can you imagine if, like, Trump was in the hotel when we did it?
He'd be like,
so mad.
He would be so mad. He would probably tweet about us.
Like, yeah, he would tweet about us.
I mean, it would be cool to be tweeted by him as bad as he is, but, like...
Then a bunch of racists would yell at us, though, on Twitter.
Yeah, the racists would, but our side would, like, love it. They'd be like, we'd be heroes. But I don't want to be a hero, because that would be, like, privileged,
Yeah, so, I just want to take my spot in the back seat, you know? That's why I like doing this podcast. I'm just putting my opinion out there, but, like, I'm not taking an active role in anything, because, like, that's for other people. Like, we've had our time on top, okay? I just want to, like, tell the story of how, like, everyone else made it to the top.
Yeah.
What are we even talking about?
Oh, we were talking about Michelle Obama and the running for Senate. And I think it's worth noting, though, that, I mean, she's going to get the nomination in the primary.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Democrat that was already there, like, I forget what his name was, but he's now...
I don't even know who it is.
Hillary picked him as, like, secretary of, like, something. Like... one of those, like, lower secretaries that, like, no one ever hears about very often.
Oh, yeah, one of those.
Like, Interior or something. She picked him for that. So that's why, like, it's really easy for her to get that nomination. So, like, I think Hillary knew in advance that Michelle was going to do that, too. So, like, that's why she picked that guy as well. So, like, this has all just been in preparation for Michelle Obama to be her VP in 2020.
Also think about this, though. Michelle Obama's a woman.
Yes.
That's, like, really important.
She's a woman of color.
A woman of color. She has, like, zero privilege.
Yeah.
She could teach us a thing or two. Like, I bet she has really good perspective on things, and, like, she could really shove it to Republicans. Racists.
Yeah.
Fascists. Let's talk about another thing, though.
Yeah, let's go on to the next one.
So, Comet Ping Pong Pizza has opened its 200th franchise.
Comet Ping Pong Pizza, based out of Washington, D.C., has seen much success during the first 6 months of the Clinton administration, going from just one store in November to opening their 200th store this week in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The company has seen levels of expansion rarely before seen with food businesses. Now, it was the subject of many conspiracies from WikiLeaks, but Comet Ping Pong Pizza has stated that every allegation against them is false, and no evidence has linked them to any wrongdoing. Politicians, though, of all levels of government have expressed their pleasure in the opening of the new establishments, from city council members to mayors to governors. And Jacob Silver on the Minneapolis City Council said, "I always loved the pizza at Comet Ping Pong when I would go there to D.C., so having one here in my hometown is fantastic." And Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta, he actually recently joined the company as a member of their board of directors.
Yeah, so if you don't know Comet Ping Pong Pizza, like, that's where all the cool, like, Democrats go to have their fundraisers. Like, I know Barack Obama did some there, and, like, I think Hillary Clinton did as well. So, like, it's really good that, like a Democrat business is doing really good, because, like, we deserve it. Like, I've never eaten at Comet Ping Pong, so I can't, like, comment on the food, but, like, we're probably gonna get one in town soon, so I'll go then.
Yeah, and, like, you know, I think the closest one is, like, a couple hours away from us. Like, I know there's 200 of them in the country, but, you know, 2 hours to drive there, that's still a little bit too far.
Yeah.
So there should be one opening in town soon.
Well, I would have to ride my bike, so that'd probably take me, like, 2 days, but...
Oh, for the 2 hours?
If I rode my bike, how long would... I don't know.
You can ride your bike. You can ride about 50 miles a day on a bike in 8 hours. So, like,
Take me.
if it's like 2 hours to drive, that's like 220 miles. So that would take you like two and a half days to get there, and 2.5 days. It would be like an all-week thing.
I'll just wait till they make one here.
Yeah, like I can wait.
Yeah, I can wait.
Because then once it's in town.
If they got 200 from like 1 in November, we're gonna get one here.
Oh yeah, easy. And like this is just it's saying that they opened their 200. That doesn't say how many more are under construction or plan to be open.
But so. I put this article on the article dump this week because like I kind of wanted to do like a side tangent on like WikiLeaks and like conspiracy theories, like Alex Jones kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like, one, it's really racist usually. Like you remember the Barack Obama stuff, or like where's his birth certificate? Like
that was super racist.
That
and you know who
was
started
super
that?
Racist.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. He didn't even say sorry.
Yeah.
That's really messed up. But like the WikiLeaks stuff, that's like Russia. Okay?
I mean, 17 intelligence agencies during the election confirmed that Russia hacked the DNC. They hacked those emails. Like, so yeah, it was Russia that gave it to WikiLeaks.
And
so.
like, we got a lot to talk about with Russia because like the war is getting really messed up at the moment. But like, this WikiLeaks stuff, like, you remember watching CNN? Like, they said, like, it's not even okay to read. Like, it's okay for the media to read, but, like, it's illegal for us.
Yeah, plus, I didn't want to give the website any traffic.
No.
So, like, I never went on there to read it myself. I watched the news, I let them tell me, and then I was good.
So these right-wing conspiracy guys, like, they're committing, like crimes by even reading these things.
It's treason, even.
Yeah. Like, we should just drone them, like, especially, like, Julian Assange.
Yeah.
Like, we should just drone him.
Like, I know Hillary said she wanted to drone him, like, during the election.
I agree.
But, yeah, she really should.
She should have ran on that.
Yeah, like, she kind of mentioned that, but then, like, didn't say any more about it.
Yeah.
So, like, she should just come back and say that more.
It's probably on her to-do list.
Yeah.
She's got a lot on her plate.
She has a lot on her. But, we actually have another article about WikiLeaks later.
Yeah.
So, let's save the most of that discussion till when we get that. Is that all right?
Okay. So let's move into the science portion of the show. So the White House has released a new algorithm that lets people check their privilege. Now, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is like super cool.
Yeah.
Like everyone should check their privilege. So go into the specifics on this, Bobby.
So a recently unveiled algorithm on the White House website lets individuals check their level of privilege. The algorithm, co-developed by students at UC Berkeley and Harvard University, was championed by the administration during its development. The algorithm places scores on a 1 to 100 scale, with 100 being the most privileged, of course. Points are added and subtracted during the 50-question test, including an automatic 30 points for whites and 20 points for males. For too long, people's privileges have gone unchecked, said UC Berkeley professor Jane Feinberg, professor of women's studies and gender expression. Now they can all see just how much privilege they truly have, and we can make a difference by moving towards equality.
See, that's what we're supposed to be doing. But like, this is really good that the White House put this up, because most people, they don't know how privileged they are.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even, I knew I was privileged, but I didn't know how privileged I was. And I'm a little nervous to say my number because, I'm pretty privileged, and I understand that.
Yeah. We took the algorithm test before we started the show just so we could have our data available.
Yeah.
And, I actually happen to agree with you. I'm really, really embarrassed about my score.
It is very embarrassing, but, we're privileged.
Yeah.
We're white males.
Yeah. So, we automatically started with 50 points.
At least. And then, it went up. And I didn't want it to go up, I don't want to be privileged. It makes me feel bad.
Well, I'll tell you my score first. And
okay.
I think my score is probably higher than yours.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
I scored a 93.
93?
They said that was super privileged. Now, the reason it wasn't higher than that was because, I have low testosterone levels, and so that really reduced my number by a couple of points. And, but yeah, I feel really bad that my number was so high.
So my number came out to 91. So
91?
yours is higher than mine, but mine's still like super high.
Yeah.
I know like eating out a lot got my number up, and like going to Starbucks a lot got my number up, and like never experiencing racism it got me to go up, and like I get it, I'm a white male, so like I'm gonna have privilege, but the website, like it said, like you're very privileged, but like it said, like as long as you can acknowledge that you have privilege and like do what you can to help other people that don't have privilege, like our number will probably go down.
And like I think that's part of the entire point, because how can people stop their privilege if they don't know they have it?
Yeah.
Like, now people can know they have it.
Like it hurts to have a lot of privilege.
Yeah.
Like it sucks, I did the test, I filled out all the stuff, and then it said like you are very privileged, 91, and at first I wanted to cry because like this is like very accusatory, but then I realized like this isn't like hostile at me. This is hostile like me a part of like a bigger system, like patriarchy and white supremacy, and like we gotta dismantle that stuff. We're not gonna do that unless we can check our privilege.
Like, I'm still kind of nervous as to like why the White House website made you enter your social security number when you did it. Like, I'm just scared that like the government would like know I have too much privilege,
Well,
but like I trust the Clinton administration to know.
Yeah.
So like in that segment, like I'm good,
Yeah. And like it. I wouldn't want anyone other than Hillary Clinton to know my most like intimate of secrets. And like I guess we said in the podcast, so like now everyone knows. But like Hillary can know my social security number.
Yeah.
She's not gonna do anything bad with it.
No.
So maybe it's gonna like hook us up with like some programs. Like Hillary will like send us like some stuff in the mail that's gonna be like, here's some classes on how to lower your privilege, or here's how to like expand equality. And like now she knows because we gave her our social security number and also our home address and phone number.
Yeah.
And like I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And the first step in reducing your privilege, as we said, is acknowledging that you have it.
Yes.
So we've acknowledged that we have it, and now we are both willing to work to reduce it. We are actively willing to work to reduce it. So, yeah.
It's some hard stuff. We get in some real hard facts in the show, but like, I don't know. I think everyone should go on the whitehouse.gov/privilege check and just do it. It didn't take me more than 10 minutes, and like, it's some information that really changed my perspective on things. But let's get into some immigration stuff, because we got a lot of good news.
There's a lot of good news.
A lot of good news going on. So here's the first good news. There's so much good news this week. Amnesty for undocumented immigrants passed.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll read it. So, President Clinton has signed into law one of the key points of her campaign. The law will automatically provide amnesty for the estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants living in the U.S. This law also provides welfare for those who have been too poor to afford food while not being able to work. The law even goes so far as to include the ability for these new citizens to immediately be registered to vote, and the ability for them to be fast-tracked to receive driver's licenses. Maria Herrera Fernandez, a former undocumented immigrant living in California for the last 3 years, was very happy to hear this. She said, "I don't have to worry every day of my life. I can now go out in the sun and take walks with my 7 children. The best part is they don't have to worry anymore either." And you know what? There are 11 million stories just like hers.
Just makes me want to just cry, like kind of tear up, because it's just like Hill Dog did it again.
Yeah.
Like she's fighting for us, but like we're privileged. We're white males. Undocumented kids, they're not privileged.
Yeah.
They don't have privilege. But like Hillary, like Donald Trump, ugh, he was gonna send them away.
Yeah.
Back to Mexico.
Like, that's racist.
It sucks there. I wouldn't want to go live in Mexico. Okay, if Donald Trump became president, I was gonna go live in Canada. Not because I'm racist, but it seems to fit my vibe better. But like, if you're an undocumented person, you don't get a choice. You just have to go back, and like now they don't have to. Now they can live with us, and like they're better than the white racists here.
And you know what? That brings up a good point that I wanted to mention. They got to choose what country to come to. Us, we were born in America.
Yeah.
We didn't get to choose to be Americans.
Yeah.
They got to choose to be Americans. That makes them even more American than we are.
Yeah. It means like they actually made like a decision.
Yeah.
We didn't even think about it. They could have went anywhere, and they chose America. That really means like a lot, because like, we've usually been pretty racist and like pretty like prominent within the inequality, but they came here to help us. And, like, to make the country more diverse. And, like, there's so much potential now that we have.
Yeah. And
these people are out of the shadows.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've been hiding for so long. Like, they don't have to hide anymore. So, like, now, it was hard for them to get jobs. Now they can get jobs. So, like, any unemployment problem we had, like, it's gone.
Yeah.
And, like, now they're going to get paid, like, $15 an hour minimum wage. Like, they can support their families on that.
Immigrants make the economy, like, boom. Like, that's just economics. They have studies on that. I read some on BuzzFeed, and, like, it's pretty in detail. I didn't understand most of it, but, like, they had summaries.
Was it the same one that I read that, they had some, like, scientists proved that every single immigrant that comes to this country makes the GDP higher?
What's a GDP?
It's some like economic term, but apparently like the higher it is, the better. Like I think they said the U.S. is like the highest in the world, which like I guess that's good, but
it's gonna be even higher now.
Yeah.
It just went up by like 11 million times, like whatever the thing was for the study. And like think about it, like this lady from the article, Maria Herrera Fernandez. Now her 7 children get to go to free college. They're probably going to be like doctors and like scientists. What if one of them is like the next Steve Jobs?
What if one of them like cures cancer?
And we could have deported them. Trump was always just like, make America great again, which to me sounded like make America white again. But like, we're actually making America great for once.
Yeah. Because America was never great beforehand.
America is a nation of immigrants, and immigrants make this country great.
Mm-hmm. But we failed to go into detail about probably the most important part. Like, they can now vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're never gonna lose an election again.
Like, that's 11 million more Democratic voters.
Hell yeah.
Like, I know Hillary only won by like 3 million votes. It was like super close.
Super close.
But like now she would win by like 14 plus.
Dude, we're gonna take the House back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're set. We're good. Like, we're set for life.
Dude, I was kind of nervous about the free college because, like, the House didn't do it. But now that we passed this amnesty, like, we're definitely going to get it.
I mean, part of the free college bill, if you remember, was to, like, for people that already had student loan debt, was to forgive it.
Yeah.
So
everyone makes mistakes.
So if, like, you think about it, like, let's say the Republicans, like, the stupid racist Republicans stall it out for 2 years, then once we retake the House in 2018, we can pass it then. And, like, everyone that's, like, built up more debt, like, in the next 2 years, like, it'll just be forgiven. So, like, they have nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Dude, I was super worried, like, if Trump became president, I was going to have to pay for this stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
That would have sucked. But, like here's another good thing, though. Like, if they get to vote, like, they can also, like, run for office. Mm-hmm. So, like, we should get more diversity. Yeah. In the government.
I mean, like, the government is still, like, 75%, like, white males.
Ugh.
So, imagine if we could start getting some, like, people of color in there.
Like, some Latinx.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we don't have enough of those.
No. Or, like, some Amerindians. Or, like, some... Well, we're going to go into some more refugee stuff, but I really hope that we can get, like, some refugees in the House and Senate. That'd be pretty cool. But let's go to the next thing that we have on immigration,
which is the refugees.
Well, we gotta go on this thing with the border
Oh, I'm
fence.
sorry, I accidentally skipped
Don't
one.
skip over.
I don't
We
like
gotta
skipping
go in
articles.
order. I got a one-track mind.
Yeah.
But looks like the border fences that we have are gonna be torn down.
Hell
Tear down
yes.
that fence.
Yes. So, sections of pre-existing fences on the United States border with Mexico have been ordered removed by the Clinton administration. We should be building bridges, not walls, the president
Hell
said.
yeah.
Having barriers only shows the racism of those who placed them there to begin with. Now, if you remember, we've looked at these statistics a lot. Border crossings on the country's southern border have been up 120% since Inauguration Day. And the Border Patrol was recently required to switch to uses of non-lethal force for migrants that potentially get violent, including rubber bullets and tear gas, rather than explosives and guns.
Dogs.
Now, all they'll do is just sneeze a little bit and they'll be fine. And but Donald Trump, he even tweeted about this. This is so racist. I can't even.
But you gotta even.
Yeah,
you gotta say it.
I gotta read it though. He said, "Illegals crossing so much more than before. Could have had my wall, but no. Now there's consequences."
What does he want this place to be? Just white people?
Yeah.
Just white people? Ugh. But this is really good because like Donald Trump, he wanted to separate us from the world. Now we're connected with the world.
Yeah.
There's nothing that separates us. They can just come here if they want, and as we said, immigrants raise the GDP. So the more that come in, the better this place is gonna get. The stock market is down, 35%. So it means the rich Wall Street guys don't have money, and it just means we're expanding equality to the world.
Exactly.
So now that anyone can come here, think about this. Okay, this is a good point. Now that we don't have a border fence, we could have a taco truck on every single corner.
I never thought about that. That's a really good point. I love tacos.
Me too.
I love them.
I do.
And you're absolutely right. I can't believe I never thought about that. That's a really good point.
Think of all the restaurants we could have, okay? I mean, San Marcos is already getting way better restaurants, but that's part of some other stuff.
We're talking about that next.
So let's go to the next thing that we got. So 700,000 refugees have been taken in the first half of 2017.
Yeah. So recently released numbers have shown that the U.S. has taken in and resettled over 700,000 refugees during the first 6 months of 2017. The majority of these refugees came from Syria, Iraq, Somalia, and other countries in North Africa and the Middle East. We should be following the model of success shown by Europe, President Clinton said. Countries like Sweden and Germany have shown their will to be open to the diversity. Refugee resettlement was a big part of Clinton's campaign. Now, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump wished to cut the number of refugees entering the U.S. by half, stating fears of economic disparity and possibility of terrorism. It's racist. But the majority of the refugees resettled by the Clinton administration have been relocated to cities in Idaho, South Carolina, South Dakota, and West Virginia. Earlier we were talking about West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
But now they've got refugees. So they were just a white state before. Now they're more diverse.
Yeah, now the refugees can replace them.
Exactly.
And since their GDP is would it be down or up now that they don't have the coal? Well, it's up now that the refugees are up there.
It's up because of the refugees, but down because of the coal. So it's pretty much still the same.
So they have nothing to complain about.
Exactly.
And they're gonna get to have a lot of cool ethnic food. They probably had to eat bland old white people food,
corn and steak,
mayonnaise.
Now we've got halal meat and stuff.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. And think about it this way. This is what the founding fathers wanted.
Yes.
We're actually fulfilling what they wanted, because this is a nation of immigrants. That means you have to help everyone. Okay, have you read the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Give me your tired, huddled masses. I don't know how the thing goes, but I know it means bringing a lot of poor people, and we just did that.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you think about it, that means their countries over there, they've got lots of problems, right?
Yeah.
So with less people, like, it makes it easier to solve your problems, you know?
Yeah,
so
that makes
it's
a lot of
for
sense.
both countries.
Yeah. And like, you know, like Donald Trump, he talks about like economic depravity, and I don't even think that's a real word, but like possibilities of terrorism. Like, what does terrorism have to do with the refugees? They're running away from terrorism.
Yeah, I mean, like, Europe's taken in a lot of refugees, and like they have no terrorism at all.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, like, now that they have, like, the refugees there, like, the terrorists don't want to attack, because that's, like, their people.
Yeah.
So,
They
like...
don't want to kill their people.
No. And, like, they'll see that, like, in Germany, they see that, like, they're so nice to the refugees, they don't even want to be terrorists. Because that would be, like... Because, you know, we're all one race, the human race.
Exactly, Enzo.
And, like, it's all about, like, us comprehending that we're in this together. Which is why, like, you know... we're bringing in so many refugees. And this really ties in really well to our next story because, like, this connects to, like, where we live.
Yeah.
So, San Marcos, Texas, where we live, has just welcomed its 25,000th Somali refugee.
Hell yes. So, the city of San Marcos, Texas, you know, like where we're at and stuff.
Yeah.
Has welcomed in its 25,000th refugee from Somalia. The fastest growing city in the nation for 2014 and 2015, San Marcos has been the forefront for President Clinton's wish to make life better for refugees. The city held a large ceremony welcoming in the 25,000th refugee, with Mayor John Tomides giving a speech promising all refugees a living wage of $15 an hour. The city has also seen a growth in Somali food stores, like you said before, recently seeing the opening of its 33rd Hummus truck. Diversity is what makes us strong, Mayor Tomides said. We welcome these Somalis with open hearts and open arms because it is the right thing to do. And also of note, the population of San Marcos was 53,000 before the refugee resettlement began, now standing at estimated 77,000.
Dude, and this is, like, so cool. Like, I've never had, like, Somali friends, and, like, I still don't, but, like, I'm gonna soon, like, make some once they get into college as well.
I mean, like, you know, obviously we see them a lot.
Yeah.
And, like, they're all over the place.
They're, like, all over the streets.
I mean, you know, they said they opened their 33rd Hummus truck. I actually thought it was less than that. I got to figure out where the other one's at.
I've eaten at a couple.
We've eaten at, what, about, like, 7 or 8 of them? And we've driven by about 20 or so others.
Yeah.
So there's still a few that, like, we haven't gone by yet.
And, like the refugees, like, they're so thankful to be here in San Marcos, and, like, they, like, you know, they appreciate San Marcos more than I do, so, like, they're more San Martian than I am. Because, like, you know, I just get to come here for college.
Mm-hmm.
They had to come here because of, like, I don't know why they're here, but, like, it's good that they're here. It's great.
And not only that, but, like, you know, they're going to be living in this city forever.
Yeah.
Us as college students, like, we're only going to be here for, like, a couple more years at
Yeah.
most. And then we'll be gone. But they'll still be here. So, like, they'll be able to, like, really invest in this city's future more than we could ever even think of.
Yeah, they're gonna pass on a big legacy. The only thing I wish is just, like, we had, like, more diversity of refugees. Like, I always hear about Syrian refugees on TV. Like, you know that one guy that, like, drowned and then washed up on, like, the beach?
I remember hearing about that.
That was a Syrian kid.
Ah.
And, like, if we'd been tolerant enough...
Sorry, Enzo.
If we would have been tolerant enough, you could live in San Marcos with us. And it's just like, why do the racists want to keep them out? They just want a better life.
But, you know, I agree with you, though. Like, you know, San Marcos said that they wanted the Somali refugees. So, like, yeah, you know, I agree with you in the whole diversity aspect. Like, yeah, we got a lot of refugees, but, like, they were all Somali. Like, I don't want to be mean at all when I say this, but there's 33 hummus trucks. Like, hummus is really, really popular in Somalia.
It's really good.
But, like, because we don't have any, like, Iraqi refugees or Syrian refugees or Libyan refugees, or Egyptian refugees, or Moroccan refugees, or like Nigerian refugees, like they all have different types of foods, right?
Yeah.
So like we'll never be able to try those food trucks here in town because none of the refugees came here. So like in a way, like it's good and it's bad at the same time.
Because I'd like totally want to try some Sudanese food truck food.
I've never had any Sudanese food.
I don't know. I don't even know if they have food there, which is why they need to come here.
Yeah, 'cause
like,
we have food.
We have
They can
way
eat,
too
they
much
can eat our
stuff.
food. Like we waste a lot of food.
Yeah,
But,
we
like,
do.
They'll be able to eat the food that like we don't waste, and like they won't have that starvation problem that they have.
Yeah.
But or this article talked about the ceremony that they held. Now we went to that ceremony.
Yeah, we did. It was really well done. The mayor brought on the stage like a bunch of like Somalis, and there was a bunch of like Somalis in the crowd with us as well. And like we were there with like the college Democrats and like the socialist alternative, and like it was really like I could feel the love in the air.
Yeah, and like our mayor John Tomides, like he gave a really like it talked about his speech, but like I was like tearing up during that speech.
Oh, I know I was.
He was like promising them, a better future and like a living wage of $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Which is like two things they didn't have back in Somalia.
They thought they were gonna die in the future.
Yeah.
Now they get to have a living wage.
Like now they can like go to the river.
Now they finally have like human rights. So
like,
great that they're here.
Somalia is mostly like, a desert and stuff. But now like, they can go in the river with everyone. Like
And like
anytime they want.
Like Somalia's like pirates, which means like they're probably like perfect around water as well, though, the ones that don't live in the desert, so that they probably love the river.
Yeah.
We always have people with kayaks there. They're probably gonna like put their own boats out there.
Are you saying they're going to have like kayak pirates?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll just come natural to
Like
them.
I've seen all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Those movies are pretty good.
Now we've got like real pirates. Like that would be really cool. Like
I've never even met a pirate.
I mean, I'm sure like some of them are, but like if they're not dressed up as the pirates, you don't know that they're them, right?
Yeah, they all look the same. It's
So
kind of
like
weird.
maybe like during Halloween, they like that saves them a lot of money in their costumes because they like already have it, So like maybe we could like dress up as pirates to like fit in along with them, right?
Yeah. I don't know. They all just like dress the same. They all just kind of look the same. They
Well, I
just
mean,
blend in.
it's the summer, Enzo, and it's hot here, and like
Yeah.
people like to wear like thin clothes with like shorts and like t-shirts in the summer. So like, obviously you're going to see them all wearing similar stuff because like, they think that we're wearing the same stuff too.
We
like,
probably all look
we're
the
both
same to
wearing like
them.
basketball shorts and t-shirts right now. So like to them, we look the same, and to us, they look the same. But like once it starts getting cooler and everyone dresses differently, like then we can really experience Somali culture for ourselves.
And that'd be pretty cool.
Like I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Let's go into the rest of the news that we have the week before we get into international news.
This first story is like the worst story ever.
But we had to do it. So Donald Trump's show The Apprentice is now the #1 show in TV ratings.
After losing the 2016 presidential election, thank God, businessman Donald Trump returned to his previous life and his previous hit NBC show The Apprentice, which now airs on Fox, of course. Mr. Trump's show has seen a large increase in viewership since it was renewed for its most recent season. It has become so popular that the weekly show is now #1 in ratings for its time slot. Upon learning of the ratings, Mr. Trump said on Twitter, "My show, The Apprentice, is now the most watched show on TV, much higher than CNN, NBC, MSNBC, and ABC. Maybe I'll start my own news network."
Oh man, that'd be so bad.
Like, can you imagine if like Donald Trump started his own news network? Like, I'd be flipping through channels, like going from like CNN to MSNBC, and have to go by like the Trump News Network.
It'd be like propaganda. It would be like the Nazis again. And I thought we just avoided like Hitler, and then we let Hitler have his own TV channel.
Yeah, and like you start with the TV channel, and like where does it go from there? Like radio programs.
Yeah. Well, if he has his own podcast.
Like, I can't believe if people would listen to that crap.
Yeah.
Like,
It just It just goes to show how many racists are still in this country, and like as much as like we're open-minded and progressive and like on the cutting edge of like the future, like there's so many people that are just still living in the past, and they're just clinging to their guns and their Bibles and voting Republican and being racist, and just they're never gonna learn. Okay, that's why we need to bring in new Americans.
Yeah, like that's part of the reason why I'm so happy about the amnesty program
And the refugees.
Yeah,
And like maybe like we sent the refugees to places that voted for Trump. Those people are probably watching The Apprentice. Maybe they'll get to like learn from the stories in a way where like maybe they won't want to watch The Apprentice anymore.
I mean, that's part of the reason why we sent the refugees to those places, because like those places weren't diverse.
They
and
needed
now like
it the
they're
most.
diverse.
Yeah,
and you're absolutely right. They needed it the most.
But yeah, that's some pretty bad news. I wish like Grey's Anatomy was number one. That's my favorite TV show. It's number one in my heart. Let's
go on next.
Okay, so raids of homes across the country continue as part of the hate speech crackdown. These are pretty good news.
Yeah. So the raids of homes across the country have continued as part of a joint effort between the FBI and local police agencies. The homes being raided are those of people who have been suspected of committing hate speech on social media posts. It is part of an even larger effort of the Clinton administration to crack down on racist, sexist, homophobic, Islamophobic, and bigoted speech seen on social media networks such as Facebook and Twitter. Now, Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky has repeatedly stated his displeasure at the administration for these efforts, saying they're in violation of the First, Fourth, Fifth, and Seventh Amendments. He actually recently saw his own home being raided by the FBI for speaking negatively about the policy on the floor of the U.S. Senate.
And it serves him right, you
Exactly.
know? He's a white male. 2, he's a Republican. 3, he voted for Trump. 4, he's from Kentucky.
5, he's privileged because he's a doctor. Like, not everyone has the opportunity to be a doctor.
Not even when college is free, he became a doctor. So, like, he should just shut his mouth. Like, okay, hate speech is not free speech.
No, it isn't.
It's not. Like, it says that in the Constitution. Like, you're saying the First, Fourth, Fifth, Eighth Amendments, and it's just like, dude, have you even read it once?
Like, I know the First Amendment, but, like, the Fourth, Fifth, and Seventh, like, what's even in those? You know?
He's just making stuff up.
Yeah.
So it's just like, there's way too many racists and, like, sexists and bigots in this country, and, like, they should go into jail. They're dangerous.
And that's why I'm glad, like, we're raiding their homes. Because, you know, Great Britain and Germany started this. So, like, you know.
They do it in Canada, too.
Yeah. So, like, they've been super successful, and now we have it here. So, like, we're learning from their successes, you know?
Because, like, you think about it, okay? Say there's a racist, and he's in his home, and he's just clicking on his phone, like, click, 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 click. And he's, like, saying stuff like, all Muslims must die, or, all women are bitches. And, like, say there's a female Muslim that lives next door. Okay, what kind of danger is she in? Because, like, he thinks some pretty hateful stuff, and he expresses it. And say that guy walks out his door, and, you know, that Muslim lady is watering her flowers. Like, what stops that dude from just, like, having the anger that he's feeling inside and just, like, hit her?
Nothing.
And, like, hate crimes are happening all the time now. Like, because of Donald Trump, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's all his fault.
Which is why these people, we just need to stop them, like, right from the source. Like, if we could just stop them from, like, even thinking these thoughts, like, yeah, I'd put them in jail if, like, they were thinking this stuff. Because, like, it's messed up. It's not okay.
But, you know, the more homes we raid, the more people will think twice about what they're doing online.
Yeah.
So, it's good. It's not good that, like, we had to do it in order to solve the problem. But it's good that, like, it's solving the problem.
Yeah, we need to make racists afraid again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the next story. So, WikiLeaks... Russia.
Which we said we're going to talk about it later. Here, we're going to talk about it.
So WikiLeaks continues to release emails from Clinton's administration.
Yeah. WikiLeaks, which released many of the hacked emails by Russia from President Clinton's campaign, continues to do so. The emails released recently show the president communicating with representatives from Saudi Arabia and Israel, and talking about sending more foreign aid to them than originally budgeted for. Now, we're going to get to that budget later on. But the administration has called the emails phony, but WikiLeaks has assured everybody that they are indeed authentic. Julian Assange, founder of WikiLeaks, has said that all emails are verified as authentic before they're released to the public and posted on the website. President Clinton has also apparently discussed measures with the British government to have Assange assassinated. Assange has been living in the Ecuadorian embassy in London for the past 5 years. So, we were talking about how she wanted to drone him.
Yeah.
I guess right there it's saying that, apparently she has talked to the British about doing it.
Why aren't they doing it?
I don't know.
Dude, that guy's a rapist.
Yeah.
He's wanted for rape in Sweden. Also, he's a white male, so, he probably did it.
I wonder what his privilege score would be.
Dude, it's probably,
higher than ours?
Yeah, it's probably, 95, 96.
Because, he knows how to, use computers and stuff. I don't know how to do that.
He uses his computer for hate speech.
Yeah.
If you're saying bad stuff about the Clinton administration, you're a sexist, okay? You don't want a woman to be president. That's pretty sexist. And it's just he works for Russia. They don't like gay people there, okay? It's just the worst. I don't even really understand what WikiLeaks is, but, I know it's terrible.
I know, they hack people's emails and then, post them on the internet. That's what I think they do.
Dude, that's, illegal.
Yeah.
That's not... You can't do that on the internet. It's so stupid. I don't know. I don't have anything else on this, do you?
No.
Yeah.
I just hope that,
I just hope it gets drowned.
I really do, too.
So, the next thing we wanted to go into, which kind of hits very close to home for us, is Texas secession movement has becoming more popular.
Yeah. A recent poll out of Texas shows 62% of Texans wish to see their state secede from the Union. Several prominent Texas congressmen, including Senator Ted Cruz, have stated that the state might actually be better off as an independent nation than remain as part of the United States. The U.S. government has warned the state not to act on any of these measures or face consequences. And although there are no plans to hold a statewide referendum on secession, an online petition has recently received over 3 million signatures from both inside and outside of the Lone Star State.
You know what the last thing was to secede? The Confederacy.
Yeah.
And, is it a big surprise? Big old racist Texas wants to secede. They probably want to have slavery again, too.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I bet Ted Cruz really wants to have slaves. He's the Zodiac killer.
Uh-huh. And, his dad killed JFK.
Yeah.
I don't like Donald Trump, but, he proved that,
Dude, can you imagine if Ted Cruz is president? He'd
Oh
probably, put women in jail for wanting to have an abortion. He'd make us all read the Bible, mandatory.
Ugh. But, Texas is super, not only are they racist, they're, sexist because of this.
Yeah.
Because, we have a woman president now. Why wouldn't you want to be in a country with a woman president?
Yeah, why would you listen to Ted Cruz instead of Hillary Clinton? Because you're a sexist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I thought, this is why it's so good that we got the amnesty, because we're trying to, change the demographics here in Texas. But, it's still 62% of Texans want to become its own country. That's really messed up. That's not even legal.
And, if, Texas decided to, secede, the military would have to come in and stop us from doing that.
Yeah. And what if, some of our refugees get hurt in the war? Think about the refugees. They've been through so much. And
yeah,
it's just
they don't deserve
this. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve to go to another war zone. Which is why we need to stop the Russians as well. But that's another thing.
Yeah.
But let's go on to the next story that we got. So, pronoun laws passed. Arrest and fines possible for non-compliance.
This people had a spell check in their article. New nationwide laws have been passed which make it illegal to call somebody by anything other than their preferred pronoun. Similar to laws passed in Canada, these wish to crack down on bigotry against the non-cisgender community. Laws like this were implemented in New York City by Mayor Bill de Blasio. I'm proud of the country to follow our city's model, de Blasio said. To intentionally or accidentally misgender a person is one of the most hateful things that can be done. We are a country of human beings that deserves peace and love because love trumps hate.
It does. And they also deserve respect.
Yes.
It all comes down to respect. And, like, you know, it's pretty mean when you call someone by something that they don't want to be called. Like, a trans woman is a woman, bigots.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, maybe they don't feel comfortable with him or her, okay? Gender's not a binary. It's a spectrum. And, like, maybe they feel more comfortable as zer or z or zum. You know, I've thought about changing my pronouns, but, like, I can't think of any good ones. But, like, maybe if you do come up with them, maybe that's what you want to be called. Just, like, respect it. If you don't, go to jail, you stupid bigot.
And you have every right to be called the pronoun of your choice. Like, who's to say that some random person you meet on the street, like, has the right to call you by something that you aren't? Like, that's the ultimate form of, like, homophobia and bigotry, you know?
Yeah. It's pretty messed up. But, like, it's good that we're protecting, like, our trans men and women because, like, they go through so much violence that it is. And, like, you can't even begin to comprehend the violence of being misgendered. Like, yeah, it's a microaggression, but those microaggressions really hurt on the inside. And, like, they commit suicide, like, all the time. It's messed up.
Yeah, it's like, what, 40%? So, like, by doing this, hopefully, like, we can start to get that back down.
Yeah. I know Trump was, like, very traumatic for them, and, like, things are still pretty bad, but, like, laws like this, they really are there to try to help people, so...
And you know what's also, not in this article, but I remember reading in the Washington Post earlier this morning, was that alongside this, we passed the bathroom bill, so that if you're a trans person, you can use whatever bathroom you want anywhere in the country.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And, like, I wish we had an article for this, but, like, I forgot to get it.
Oh, man.
But it's
well.
there.
At least you mentioned
and
it.
it goes along very much with this, so I wanted to make sure we mentioned it there.
Trans rights are human rights, too. Like, get it through your head, you stupid Republicans. Like, how many times do we have to tell you this?
Yeah.
Let's go to the next story, though. So, this is really sad. But there is a rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes.
Yeah. So, across the country, there's been a rise in hate crimes targeting Jewish people. In the first half of 2017, there were over 1,300 recorded anti-Semitic crimes, which is up 70% from the same period of 2016. From swastikas being spray painted on synagogues to tires being slashed, the ADL, which is the Anti-Defamation League, has stated that they've never seen it rise so fast. Now, John Levin, spokesman for the ADL, said, "These hate crimes need to stop. It's reminiscent of Hitler's Germany, the way Jews are being so selectively targeted."
You know, I thought we stopped Hitler. Okay, Trump's not president. But these Nazis, they're just so mad that he didn't win that they're just trying to, like, do it through violence. And they're targeting the Jews because the Jews, you know, they're successful people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? These Nazis, they have nothing to have pride in other than being white. And, like, that's not something to be proud about.
Like, they killed 6 million Jews in the Holocaust. Like,
Yeah.
is that these people's goal, is to have another Holocaust? Because if so, like, I need to tell my rabbi about that.
Have these people even seen any sort of Holocaust movie? Do they not even comprehend what happened?
Have they not seen Schindler's List? Like, that was one of the best movies ever made by Steven
I know.
Spielberg.
It was a pretty good movie.
Like, it showed in detail just how bad the Holocaust was.
Yeah.
Like, Jewish people don't deserve, like, any criticism at all.
They got turned into lampshades, okay? Lampshades. It's messed up. They got put in ovens. They got gassed. The Jews have been through enough.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave them alone, you Nazis. Just attacks on synagogues. I know this has affected you a lot,
It
personally.
has. Like, my synagogue, like, we didn't get attacked, but one of the guys that goes there, the tires on his BMW were slashed. And so, like, we don't know who did it. And he had a security camera, but, like, they spray painted it before they did it. So we don't know who it was. They said it was, like, a tall guy. He looked like he was about 6 feet tall. He was wearing all black clothes in the middle of the night. So we're still trying to hunt him down, but I bet you he was a Trump supporter.
Dude, I've been seeing, like, a lot of anti-Semitic flyering around town sometimes, and it, like, really scares me, because, like, okay, like, it's it's hard enough protecting all the refugees in town, but protecting the Jews too?
Yeah.
Like, it's scary. Like, there's Nazis meeting up. This isn't 1933 Germany. This is 2017 America.
And not only that, but like, you know, with so many Somali refugees, they're like 37% of this like city now. So they have a lot more people to defend themselves. But the Jews in this country, Jews are only 1.4% of the population of the country. Like, they can't defend themselves the way that a lot larger groups can do.
Yeah.
Like, they're outnumbered by like these violent, racist, like, you know, anti-Semitic Trump supporters.
And with like, because we saw how many people voted for Donald Trump, there's probably a lot more Nazis than there are Jews in this country.
Oh yeah, easily.
These people are probably like making concentration camps in their backwater
That is
places.
exactly why I'm happy that like those people's homes are being raided. Because you post an anti-Semitic meme on like Facebook, like we're gonna bust down your door and make sure that you can't like kill any Jews.
Yeah.
We're gonna make sure that like you don't have any like dead Jews in your home oven.
Yeah.
Because like I wouldn't put it past these people to do something like that, to kidnap them and put them there.
It's messed up. But at least we can take solace with this last national story before we get into international
Yeah. So
news.
this is I always like to end segments on a good story if I can.
So white male suicide rates are at an all-time high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The number of reported suicides and suicide attempts committed by white males has dramatically risen recently. From January to June of 2017, there were 14,780 total suicides in the U.S., of which 11,065 were white males. This represents an increase of 1,100% from the same period of 2016. The number is currently placed at an all-time high for a 6-month period as well. Although the reason behind this rise is currently unclear, I don't know why. Studies have shown that increased levels of stress are likely a factor. Republican members of Congress have called for an investigation into the issue.
They're probably just choking on all their privilege, and they're just like depressed that Donald Trump isn't their president, so they can't kill all the Jews and all the refugees and all the Mexicans and all the Muslims and all the black people.
All the LGBT people.
Okay, they're probably just committing suicide because like the only place that's going to be white is heaven. So like, why live in our wonderful, vibrant nation when you can just kill yourself?
Every white male gone is like better for us.
Yeah.
You know, because like white males are like racist and bigoted and everything.
They have a lot of privilege.
Yeah.
And like when a white male dies, it's like a hate bubble popped.
Yeah.
And like obviously like if we were to die, like we wouldn't have a hate bubble pop because we voted for Hillary and we support, everyone that's not white.
Yeah,
but
we know that diversity is our strength.
Yeah, it like makes me feel so good. But these people like they just get off on all their hate to the point that we're just like, oh, if I can't kill, I'm gonna kill myself. And like, good, you bigot, Republican.
Yeah. Like every white male that kills himself removes that much more of the white supremacy that's plaguing this country.
Yeah, the only way to reverse white supremacy is for just killing
people
yourself.
to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way around it. It's just the way it is. And, like, these Republicans in Congress, it's bad enough that they hold up the free college stuff. Now they want an investigation into why white males are dying? Okay, they only want to do that because they're white males themselves.
I bet you it's Paul Ryan behind this.
That guy's like... Well, he might become a Democrat soon, so I'll forgive him if he does. But, like, he's like... pre-Democrat John McCain to me right now. So, like, he is, like, a fascist. But, yeah, it is pretty good that at least white males are killing themselves. Way better than, like, trans women of color or, like, immigrants or Muslims.
And you know what? Like, I wanted to mention this earlier, but this is a good time to mention it. White people, like, their entire existence is because of racism. Think about this. Like, if a white girl and a black man have a child, that child is black.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you understand, like, genetics and stuff, white genes are like recessive genes. if you have any type of mixture in racing at all, those children are not going to be white.
Yeah.
And so, they're not going to mix with white people. So, like, those children are going to be, like, even less white. So the only reason that white people even exist is because white people breed with other white people.
Because they don't want to have sex with minorities.
Exactly. So, like, you do that enough throughout history, especially in today's day and age that we, like, know these things.
It causes white supremacy.
Exactly. Every white person stems from racism of their parents and grandparents.
And, like it's true. Like, my parents voted for Donald Trump, and, like, I tried to talk to them about it, but they're just racist.
Yeah.
They're racist that wanted to make me white. And, like, they gave me a lot of privilege. And I understand it's wrong, but, we got to do the best with what we're given. And, like, I'm going to make sure that, I don't, have children with a white woman. A woman of color, it's all I want.
Yeah.
Trans women especially. Because then my kids will be like, the privilege is going to be like half.
It would be like 12 or 13.
Yeah. Because their mom is like a super minority.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that'll probably be good.
Yeah, I mean, like, what right do you tell me that I need to have white children? Like, there's no future for them.
No.
There's a future for children of color. And that's it. Plain and simple. Boom.
That's where this country's heading, okay? All the white people are dying. They're committing suicide. Their population's dropping. And, like, we're changing, okay? Get with the program, you bigots.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go on to the international news, where we got another big cluster of white bigots to talk about.
Yeah.
So, the travel ban has now been in place on Poland, Hungary, and Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
You got the stuff on this?
I got the stuff on this. So the Clinton administration has placed a travel ban on the 3 Central European countries of Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic. President Clinton has said that these countries, in their refusal to take in refugees like the rest of Europe, have shown their willingness to allow racism and fear control the narrative. We do not want to bring that bigotry to the United States. And what's even worse, though, is Republicans filed a lawsuit against the ban, but the very next day it was ruled constitutional by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals.
We don't want these people here. They're a bunch of racists. Like, it's in Poland?
What's up?
Auschwitz is in Poland.
That's true, it is. Like, you'd think that having that there would, like, make those people learn from their mistakes, but no, like, it made it even worse.
They probably wish that they could put the refugees in Auschwitz again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we don't need that kind of negativity here. I'm glad Hillary has the travel ban, okay? I'm open and inclusive to all people, except racists.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and like these people, they've never even taken in any refugees.
It's all white people.
They don't know the benefits that refugees have. Like, our city's taken in refugees. We know the benefits.
Yeah.
They've not seen those benefits. So, like, why would I want those people to come here spreading their, like, ignorance and hatred?
And they just be proponents of white supremacy because they only want to, have kids with other white people. They don't even want diversity in their country. It's just, why does racism like this still even exist? It's crazy. It blows my mind.
Why should Poland, like, only have Polish people?
Yeah.
Like, you should have Germans, and you should have Somalis, and Syrians, and Chinese people. Like, just because it's Poland doesn't mean it needs to be Polish people.
Yeah.
Like, there's no diversity in that. There's no multiculturalism.
Yeah, if an immigrant wants to go to Poland, like, they're Polish too.
Yeah.
It's just, we're all one people. Okay? We're all the human race. It's not white. It's not African American. It's not Muslim. We're all humans. And, like, borders get in the way of us being humans. And, like, yeah, I want to tear down borders. I want to tear down patriarchy. I want to tear down white supremacy. But these people want borders. And these people want white supremacy. And they want patriarchy. So, like, if you're not going to get with the program, then, like, we don't want any of you in our country. Because you're probably going to want to build borders.
I'm glad they're not coming here. But we should probably move on to the next story.
Yeah. So we might as well get into how the war's been going.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's now got its second front.
Yeah. Okay, so the Russians have invaded Alaska.
Russia has continued its conquest of several unpopulated Alaskan islands, and Russian President Vladimir Putin has stated his intent on possibly invading mainland Alaska as well. The islands they currently occupy are some of the same ones occupied by Japanese troops during World War II. And former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin said she won't tolerate Russians invading her home, and she promises to fight tooth and nail if it comes to it. And the Pentagon has said if Russia invades mainland Alaska, they will have no choice but to defend the homeland. Meanwhile, the government has put more sanctions on Russia in hope that it will cause them to stand down.
So, we've been at war with Russia for the last couple of months, but
Since
now...
February.
Yeah, but now it's, like, on our home turf, and, like, yeah, it is, like, Alaska, and they went to Donald Trump, so I kind of don't care as much, but, like... I don't like it that Russia's invading us. They're a bunch of racists. What if they go to, like, Seattle?
Yeah.
Or Portland?
Like, those are, like, our most progressive cities in the country. Like, we can't have them destroy those.
Yeah, we gotta protect our gays and our refugees. Like, Russia hates gays. They, like, burn them in the streets.
They don't like refugees either.
They don't even let them come in. So, like, yeah, you know, I don't like this Russia war stuff. Like, I don't like war in general, but, like, if any country is to be obliterated, I'd want it to be Russia. And, like, of course, like, we're not gonna serve, because, like, you know, we're working on important stuff, and, like, you know, we're kind of against toxic masculinity. We'd rather, like, the strong guys go and fight and die, and, like, we can just stay on the home front. But, like, I hope this stuff ends soon.
Yeah, me too.
Because, like, Russians are scary. They don't speak English, and, like, they don't like diversity. Like, if we had a bunch of Russians move here, they'd probably, like attack the Hummus trucks.
And, like, you know, they're always drinking vodka, and they're always drunk all the time. So,
Yeah.
like, not only...
That's dangerous.
And, you know, like, drinking, it impairs your judgment. So not only are they, like, you know, they don't speak English.
Yeah.
And they're scary.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But you can't not speak English and be a bigot.
Yeah, seriously. But, like, add on top of that the fact that they're drunk and they can't make good decisions.
They're probably going to rape people.
Yeah, seriously. Like, the refugees, they don't rape anyone.
No.
But the Russians probably would.
Yeah, they probably would.
You know, when the Soviets were attacking the Nazis, the Soviets raped a lot of people.
They did.
And, like, you know...
The Nazis,
it's
you
like
know, they're not
their,
people either. But
yeah. But, like, innocent people that were just living there, like, as the two sides were fighting, they would get caught up in it. And, like, the Soviets would rape them. So,
Yeah.
like, that's the same Russians we're talking about nowadays. Like, they would rape our people if, like, they invade us.
Yeah, so we might as well get into the stuff that happened in the Middle East. So,
this is the other front of the war.
So how's this stuff in the Syria front going with the war against Russia?
I mean, I can just read the article.
Yeah, go do that.
Okay. The ongoing war against Russia and Syria has further escalated. The Pentagon, under direct orders from President Clinton, has established a no-fly zone over Syrian airspace. This was in part to further prevent Russian warplanes from flying over the battlefields. The U.S. has promised to shoot down any Russian aircraft violating the no-fly zone. Russian President Vladimir Putin has reached out to the White House to try and de-escalate the conflict, but the White House is refusing to negotiate. General Anna Domingo, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, has stated that although we appreciate the efforts by the Russians to de-escalate the conflict, this administration wishes to not negotiate with a potentially backstabbing enemy. So far, combined Russian and American casualties in Syria have topped over 25,000 during the first 3 months of fighting.
So, that's a lot of people killed. That's more than Iraq. Isn't it?
We only lost like 6,000 in Iraq, so yeah, like it's like 4 times as many in just 3 months.
So the war in Syria is really bad.
It's not going very well.
It's really bad.
Like, that's why I'm happy that we have this no-fly zone, because now that, like, they can't have their planes up there, like, that makes us, like, in command of the airspace.
They might just bomb us, though. They might just bomb us.
Yeah.
I don't think they care. I mean, we're just fighting each other.
But, like, you know, if the death toll and casualties keep getting higher, then, like, I've heard that they're thinking about bringing the draft back. And if, like, we get drafted, then even though, like, we don't want to fight,
I don't want to fight.
we'd have to fight. Like, there's
there's
no other way.
I mean, if Hillary says I gotta fight, I gotta fight.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If she told me to fight, I would fight. I'm not going to disagree anything.
I don't know if we
disagree with
can
her.
still do a podcast in Syria or Alaska, but
We could maybe do it from our barracks.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But, like, I don't want to fight. I just want to hang out with some refugees, read books on feminism, get my college degree, get free college, go to a hummus truck. Like, life's so short, why end it fighting?
You only live once, you know? So, like, why die in a war against Russia? Like, in Syria, Like, I can understand if you're fighting up in Alaska because that's, like, near Russia.
Yeah.
Syria's nowhere even close to Russia.
Yeah, Syria's far away.
That's, like, two countries fighting in a third country that, like, isn't anywhere close to either one of them. Like, what's the point in that?
That doesn't make sense.
Like, if we have to fight, I hope it's Alaska, at least because that's, like, closer,
It's very cold there, though. It's probably not as cold in Syria.
But in Syria, it's really hot.
Well, it's hot in Texas, too.
Yeah, but it's, like, a desert there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They both sound really shitty. War sucks. I don't want to go fight. But if we don't fight, who's going to protect all the refugees?
That's true. Because, like, if we leave, all the refugees are open to attack by, like, the Nazi Trump supporters. Think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we're their last line of defense against, like, these bigots.
Well, can we just send the Trump supporters to fight?
Well, Enzo, they're, like, all old people. So, like, they're too old to fight,
Okay.
Like, there's a reason why all us millennials, like, we voted for Clinton. Because we hate Trump.
Yeah. She sucks.
Just all the older people that voted for Trump. So, like, yeah, they still pose a threat.
But yeah, if we go to fight in Alaska or Syria, like, the racists are going to feel empowered since we're not there to protect the refugees and the immigrants and the Muslims, like, and the Jews. They're just going to... They're going to go off on them.
So I really hope that, I hope Clinton listens to her generals and we can get this war over soon. Because the longer it goes, like, that's not helping anybody.
But, while we're on the topic of peace, our next story is also related to that.
Yeah.
We've reached a peace deal with ISIS.
This was, like, really, really good news. So President Clinton is championing the peace deal reached with leaders of the Islamic State in Syria. The deal, signed by Secretary of State Joe Biden and Islamic Caliphate leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, promises to redraw the northern borders of Iraq to help establish a homeland for Islamic leaders. This is wonderful news, al-Baghdadi said in a publicly released statement. Our tireless effort has concluded, and we will finally be able to establish a caliphate of our own. Critics of the peace deal, however, including UN representatives from Israel and Jordan, tribal Kurdish leaders, and members of the Republican Party in the U.S., have stated that the peace deal is nothing more than a surrender to ISIS. Under the peace deal, a provision also includes U.S. support for recognizing the Islamic State as a legitimate country in the United Nations, as well as providing foreign aid and food supply drops to the people who choose to live under the newly established government.
So here's the thing, you racists and bigots. Islam is a religion of peace.
Yeah.
And, like, ISIS is all about Islam. So, like, the only reason why they're mad is because we're blowing them up. If we just leave them alone, they'll leave us alone. And, like, maybe some of the refugees that were in, like, Syria, once they see that we're done fighting ISIS, maybe they'll want to go home. And,
Maybe.
like, that'll be good. So, like, I don't see any, like, bad sides of, like, peace with ISIS.
And, like, the Republicans are straight up lying. They said that we surrendered to ISIS. We didn't surrender to ISIS.
No.
Everyone stopped fighting. And, like, they agreed to a peace deal. They both signed it. And, like...
It means we both won.
Yeah. And ISIS got what they want. And we got what we want. So, like, everyone wins.
Yeah. So, yeah, Hill Dog again just coming through with, like, fixing the world. But, yeah.
I still keep wanting to call him Vice President Joe Biden, but, like, I keep forgetting he's Secretary of State now.
Yeah.
He was a perfect pick.
It would have been cool if he ran for president. I would have voted for him as well. Although, Hillary is the president.
I'm glad Hillary's the president.
Maybe when Hillary's done, Joe Biden could be afterwards.
I think Joe might be a little bit too old by then. Because, like, she's going to be president for 8 years. And then
Yeah.
Michelle Obama's going to be president for 8 years.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, that would be, like, 16 years from now, and he's already in his 60s. So, he'd be, like, 80-something by then.
Yeah.
And by then, like, we could have, like, a younger progressive Democrat run.
We don't even know what the country will be like by then. Yeah, I guess Joe Biden's good where he is.
Yeah.
But let's get into the next thing.
Okay.
So, airstrikes have begun against Iran.
Yeah. So, after threats of economic sanctions and military action against Saudi Arabia, Iran will now be the target of airstrikes by the United States. President Clinton spoke on the phone with King Salman of Saudi Arabia, ensuring him the U.S. will protect the mutual friendship between the two countries. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has asked the United States to not launch military action, pleading that their only goal against Saudi Arabia was to try and lessen their influence over OPEC and remove a blockage in the Strait of Hormuz, which has been barring any Iranian ships from passing, and thus locking them into the Persian Gulf. Like, what is OPEC? You know? Like, if Saudi Arabia is influencing OPEC, then, like, that's good for them, right?
I don't really know what it is either, but, like, I don't know. Saudi Arabia is our ally, and we have to stick up for our allies. And
Yeah.
if they don't like Iran, we do not like Iran. Like, I don't really know much about Iran, but I'm glad that we're bombing them. Because, like, hey, don't mess with America. Don't mess with Saudi Arabia, okay? We'll come after you.
If Saudi Arabia has a reason to have a blockage in the Strait of Hormuz, then, like, it's got to be legitimate,
Well,
you know?
well, doesn't Russia like Iran?
I don't know. Everyone likes and hates each other over there.
Well, maybe Russia and Iran like each other. So,
they
like,
might.
we are at war with Russia, so maybe we're at war with Iran.
And if, like, you know, we already got United States involved, Russians involved, Syria, I guess you could say, is involved since that's where we're fighting. If Iran gets involved, you know, Saudi Arabia will probably get involved.
Yeah, they're on our team.
So, like, you know, by then you got 5 countries fighting. Like, I guess that technically would be World War III, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, we'll win. I really hope so.
We won the last 2 world wars, so, like, you know, we're going to win this one, too.
Yeah, I just hope we don't have to personally fight it, but I don't know. Let's get into the last story of the week. This is a pretty good one.
It's been such a fun podcast. I can't believe we're almost done.
I know. We're just past the
2-hour mark?
Yeah, we just passed the 2-hour mark.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, let's get into the last story that we have. So foreign aid to Israel increased by $5 billion a year.
$5 billion. Yeah.
To $5 billion a year.
So, inside the budget for the fiscal year 2018 includes a provision to increase foreign aid payments to Israel to $5 billion a year. Now, currently, foreign aid to Israel is set at $3.2 billion a year, and that was in 2017. So this would represent a 56% rise in the next year. We will always stand by our greatest ally, said Amy Schumer, who, you know, if you don't forget, is the new White House press secretary and cousin of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
I love Chuck Schumer.
I know, me too.
I love
So-
Amy Schumer as well.
She's such
so
a
funny.
really good comedian.
So funny.
Have you seen her newest movie that came out?
Which one?
Like all of them.
Yeah, pretty much. I like
know that,
every
like,
Amy
we
Schumer
try to go
movie.
we try to go to them like every time they come out.
Yeah.
Like, man, I can't wait for. I know she's filming this new one. Like, I forget what it's called, but it's got, like, you know, I think it's got a Snoop Dogg in it.
Oh wow.
So
I know this might be a little weird, but like, Amy Schumer is like really hot.
she is really pretty.
Really hot.
I know they said she's going to be in that Barbie movie. Like, I can't think of anyone more perfect to play Barbie than her.
I've been having dreams about Amy Schumer where we get married and have children,
Aww.
and then I get to go to the White House because like she works at the White House, and then I get to meet Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton's like, "Good job, Enzo. You really got a good woman because you married Amy Schumer." And then, you know, Chuck Schumer comes over because he's like now he's related to me. So like now my favorite senator's over with my wife and me, and then it's just like it's like perfect. And then I wake up.
That's the nicest story I've ever heard.
I know.
Man, I wish that would happen to me too.
I wish we could report about that happening.
Yeah.
But Israel getting a lot of money is good
Yeah.
too, because like, you know, we got to make up for all these anti-Semitic attacks that are happening, and like, I don't know if Russia doesn't like Israel, but like I bet they don't like Israel.
Well, Iran has been threatening Israel as well.
Oh yeah.
So if we're fighting Iran and we're fighting Russia, if we are fighting Iran and we are fighting Russia and Iran is fighting Israel, then that means we'd be on the same side as Israel.
So Israel needs the money then to protect themselves.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why we did it is because there's more to that quote by Amy Schumer. She said, "Foreign aid is just one way we can help, but not the only one. And the U.S. has also promised to help Israel with any military needs it needs if the threats from Iran continue." So, like, if Israel joined the war, that's like 6 countries.
Israel is our greatest ally.
They are our greatest
They'll probably help us a lot out there in the fight against Russia. I mean, I guess if we go get drafted and we have to go fight in Syria, as long as like Israel and Saudi Arabia's on our team, like I feel like we'll win.
Oh yeah, easily.
And we got like more to fight for. Like, I have like the potential of being with Amy Schumer, and like I don't know what your dreams are, but maybe you could fulfill them too. But like if Russia wins, none of that happens.
Yeah.
So like we gotta win this, and that's why Israel needs the money. And like if Israel wants the money, you give Israel the money. But yeah, we don't have any more stories of the week. The show went by fast.
Oh, these shows always go by fast because it's so fun talking about all the really good news that's happening in the Clinton administration.
Yeah, I really like having Hillary Clinton as the president, and it's just like I feel like we get through so many points and stuff. We're really educational. But yeah, this has been our podcast, Hillary Planet Podcast. We do this show weekly, and we just track, where the Clinton administration's going. You have anything to say before we go, Bobby?
Oh, I was going to say, as always, I have so much fun recording these. And every morning, I wake up so happy that Hillary Clinton is my president.
Me too.
So happy that Donald Trump is not my president. And that's how I was this morning. That's how I was yesterday. And that's how I'm going to be tomorrow.
Even if I have to fight Russia, Hillary's still my president.
I can wake up in Syria knowing that Hillary Clinton's my president. Like, that's how good it could be.
Yeah, it still gives me hope, even though there's still a lot of evil and racists in the world. But,
we're making steps to defeat them.
It's baby steps. Hillary can't do everything every single day. But, yeah, with that said, thank you for listening to the show, and have a good one.
Goodbye, everybody.